Mr. Fry, I'm Madhuri.
Very nice to meet you.
And this is my mother.
Hello, darling.
Hello, how do you do?
It's such a pleasure
Well,
to meet
it's a pleasure
you.
to be here. Thank you very much.
Now, tell me, what is an erudite and sophisticated gentleman like yourself doing on a stupid show like this?
I'm basically a whore.
Oh,
Your son offered such an enormous sum of money I couldn't refuse.
oh, don't tell anybody.
Lovely house.
Oh, thank you very much. Please,
Thank you.
come through.
I'm
The
fine.
salon of satire.
Very good.
Which is the living room.
Yes,
This
it
is
certainly
my
is.
son, Sanjeev.
Ah, what a pleasure.
He's a wit like you.
Meeting you is like, is great.
You see, it's the Punjabi version of Lit and Stretchy.
Mr. Fry!
How do you do? What a pleasure.
Ashwin Kumar!
Indeed, Ashwin.
A
It's a
pleasure
great
to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too.
Do sit down.
Thank you. Where would you like me to go?
Make yourself comfortable.
You're so big, you're frightening everyone. Come and sit down.
Oh,
How
all right.
marvelous to have a guest of your stature in our home.
Well, you're very kind.
Did you enjoy your chutney?
Let's not talk of chutney, it's so vulgar.
You know, Mr. Fry, I'm such an admirer of yours. You know what I love? Your hilarious off-the-cuff remarks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the Kumars Forum. And a very special welcome to the more educated among you who may be tuning in for the first time. Now, the first participant in tonight's discussion is a true Renaissance man. Please welcome novelist, actor, playwright, wit and raconteur, Mr. Stephen Fry. Now, tea.
Yes.
The perfect blend of Indian flavour and British refinement.
That's a brilliant description.
How similar to what this show is like, isn't it?
Yep.
Now, Stephen, for people who just watch television, you're probably best known for Blackadder and Jeeves and Worcester. But for people who read books and go to theatre, you do that as well, don't you?
Yes, I have done. I've written a few books and run away from a few plays.
What do you enjoy most?
Well, the simple answer is I usually enjoy most what I'm not doing at the time. So if I'm on television, I wish I were at home writing a book, and if I'm at home writing a book, I wish I were on a television or film set. It's basically the other man's arse is always cleaner, as my uncle used to say. It's, you know what I mean? You miss things.
You know, Mr. Fry, you should take a leaf out of my son's book. Choose one thing and do it properly.
Yes?
He decided he wanted to be a chat show host, so he rolled up his sleeves and asked me for £300,000 to build a studio.
That's true.
Well, I was focused.
You're so focused.
Actually, we have a saying in the Punjab, a very ancient saying. How does it go?
Kam karo chunke, pura dil lagake.
That's right. Do you know what it means?
No, I don't. I must.
Choose one thing and do it properly.
There you are.
Right. The central issue that I'd like to discuss tonight is this. Is British culture being dumbed down by TV, or what?
He's put you on the spot.
I am sweating under the searchlight here. I would have to offer a reluctant affirmative to your question, actually.
That means yes, Sandeep.
Yeah. Although what the older generation calls dumbing down, I mean, I think actually there's an infinite capacity for a human being to know things, and whether they know things about the Premiership or whether they know things about Latin poetry is almost irrelevant. It's how much passion they put into what they know.
See, I know a lot of things, I just can't remember them.
Very good.
But wasn't it George Bernard Shaw who once warned against confusing art with culture?
No, it was a fellow Irishman. It was Oscar Wilde, but you know, their lives sort of overlapped, you know.
Yeah, I think that Wilde may have said it first, but I think it was George Bernard Shaw who told everyone.
Ah.
Idiot.
Yep.
Stephen, darling, I just wanted to say that I saw...
Dad, have you got a question?
I haven't finished.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have called me an idiot.
You know, Mr. Fry,
Yes.
what's your main income stream?
Aside from light prostitution. Well, I suppose...
Only light?
Actually, but no, I think my main income stream is probably my books, actually, writing.
It's a good job you don't have to rely on chat show appearance money.
Yeah, well, yes.
Man cannot live by chutney alone.
No.
Mummy wants to ask a question, don't you?
Oh, I see. Now you want me to get you out of a chutney-flavoured hole. Stephen, darling, it was probably at Cambridge that your comedy career began with the famous and intermittently funny Footlights. Did you enjoy it there?
I had an absolute ball. It was wonderful, wonderful place. There's no... I mean, it's... I have to say, actually, although it is a very beautiful town, and of course it's medieval, and the buildings are wonderful, and you know that, you know, the atom was split here, and DNA was discovered there, and Byron and Wordsworth were students there. That's not actually the point. The reason you love university is the friends around you, and actually the memory you have, that sort of 3-year oasis in your memory, is of the friends you made.
Oh,
and I think that's what makes it superb.
Yes, but Cambridge, now, Cambridge, the dreaming spires and the crusty old dons.
Dreaming Spas, Oxford, but you know.
Crusty old dons?
Plenty of crusty
You
old
are,
dons,
yeah.
lots.
What is exactly the meaning of crusty old don?
Well, I think crusty, it's a kind of metonymic transfer of the metaphor that comes from the word when applied to port, crusty port. And it's, you think, you know, crust develops, a bee's wing develops on top of port that makes it crusty, and it also carries the flavour of curmudgeonly or recalcitrant or somewhat, you know, a little bit rebarbative, if you like, somewhat, you know, short-tempered, snappy, yeah. And old, I'm sure you know what that means.
Yeah.
Don means a fellow of a college, or essentially one of the teachers. They're called dons.
So, crusty old don?
A crusty old don would be a recalcitrant, rebarbative, old-fashioned, full of flavour, rather like a good old port, but perhaps a little bit snappy too. Don, who is advanced in years, ageing, senile, senescent.
Oh, he's wonderful, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Cambridge. I decided not to go to Cambridge. Also, I wanted to lend my support to more modern institutions. Slough Tech. I don't know if you ever played them at rowing or anything like that.
No.
Well, I know you're not necessarily a physical person. You're more mental, really. But did you do any sports at Cambridge?
No, none whatever. Absolutely none. They tried to persuade me to row because it's something to do with physics, I suppose, and leverage. But tall people are considered a bonus in an 8 in a boat. I don't know if you've ever seen these boats. I mean, if you just put your leg on it, it would go through it. I mean, just to sit in it, it's a performance. You punch your holes in, and they really are that thick, the base of them, the shells, the actual boats. It's fit only for galley slaves and convicts, essentially. Absurd way. I mean, when there are plenty of good taxis around, it seems an absurd method of conveyance.
Mr. Fry, I really wanted Sanjeev to go to Cambridge.
Did you?
Oh, I told her he would never get in. I said, Motherly, wake up and smell your son.
Sure, Anna.
Okay, would have loved you there.
I'd like to talk next about your art, really. Wasn't it almost definitely George Bernard Shaw who said, truth is beauty and beauty truth?
George Bernard Keats came pretty close to saying that, yeah. That is all you know in this world and all you need to know.
Mum.
He went on to say.
Mr. Fry, you made a programme about Paddington Bear, didn't you?
Yes, I did, yes, that's right. Last year we went to Peru to follow in the footsteps of, I mean, Paddington was what you might call a point d'appui in French, a sort of leaping off point, if you like, because there are bears. I mean, a lot of people think Paddington Bear, everyone knows he comes from darkest Peru, Lima in darkest Peru, but a lot of people, even in Peru, are not aware that there is a species of bear that exists only in a handful of countries around Peru.
Are they
Bolivia and
cute?
Colombia. They're unbelievable. They're called the spectacled bear.
Spectacled bear, that's so sweet.
I'm sorry about this. Someone got an intelligent question.
Okay, Stephen, do you think that naturalists observing sensitive ecosystems are subject to the Heisenberg principle, i.e. the act of measuring alters the behaviour of the object being measured?
I'm sorry, that's the best you're going to get.
I think that is a profoundly intelligent and interesting question. I would say so, however, that it comes down not so much to the Heisenberg principle of altering events by observing them, because that's more true of discrete quantum phenomena in the cosmos. And I think in the case of observing animals, it's really more just a question of solipsism, which goes all the way back to the idea of Bishop Berkeley. And if a cow is alone in the field, does it exist if there's no one there to perceive it? Esse est percipe, if you remember the phrase. The question is, it's certainly true of animals, that, of course, the act of observation alters their behavior. But that is a causal chain, not a quantum one, which is in any way akin to that of the Heisenberg principle. So I think it is a different...
I love you.
OK, all right.
That's very sweet of you.
Thank you. Because, you know, I think all right-thinking people nowadays are kind of like environmentally conscious, and they kind of know about the ecology. Wasn't it, in fact... was there any possible chance that it could have been George Bernard Shaw, in fact, who once said, planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do?
Do you know, I think it probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Thank you. I'd like to move on to my next topic. Wither television.
Yes, I wish it would. Oh, I see. Where's it going? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you're not telling it to wither. No. With a television. Well, I fear a kind of ghettoisation, don't you? I mean, there's the recently opened BBC 4, which is a place to think, supposedly. And, of course, that is a good idea, and I don't want to be non-supportive of it, but it worries me, the idea that everything will be balkanised into little pockets, little sections that represent minority interests. So there's kind of, you know, arts on this channel and sport on this channel and films on this channel. I think that's a terrible pity.
But don't you ever watch any trashy television, Stephen? Come on, you must.
I've seen the show twice.
Stephen, I must say, thank you for bringing a little bit of culture to our humble show.
Pleasure.
If you've enjoyed the show and have friends in the higher social economic groups, then don't forget to tell them where you saw the clever and popular Mr. Stephen Fry.